All right, our work today is very similar to yesterday. Here's the idea. Yesterday we worked on this thing about, I can get this all running here. We worked on this idea of different kinds of collisions. And again, pretend this is your game screen. And what we did yesterday was that we had like a stationary object over here, not moving, and then we brought a moving object on a collision course, and we looked at the four different things: the bounce, bounce off, collide, and displace. All right, well, similar thing today, but we're going to switch something up. Here's your game screen. And what we're going to do is put an object over here and an object over here, and we're going to get them both moving. And we want this one moving in this direction, and we want this one moving in this direction, and they're going to be on a collision course. The difference today being that both objects are moving. And we're going to test those same four things: bounce, bounce off, and I'm not going to write all of them, but bounce off and collide and displace. And so you're going to actually have four different programs, but again, the difference is both objects are moving and they're on a collision course, and let's see how those different kinds of collisions behave when we do that. All right, so I'm going to hop over here to code.org, and it's in the game lab. And I'm just going to use, in mine, and I'm going to kind of work through at least the first one here. I'm going to use the blue car and the red car. So I'm just kind of searching those out. And I'll just change this one to be blue. And this one I'm just going to call red. Do that however you want. Go back to my code. And let's go to work on this. And this part of it, you might, excuse me, might pause the video and just, or fast forward the video, right? Because you feel like, oh gosh, I know how to do this. This is not hard, and you're probably right about that. All right, where's my rotation? I'm going to rotate these cars. So, all right, so here we go. I'm going to say blue, and the blue one's going to be over 0 and down 200. So blue is going to be the blue car, and blue, its rotation is going to be 90 degrees, and that's only because I want it to point in the direction that it's going. Red is going to be over 200 and down 400. Red will be the red car, and red's rotation will be minus 90 degrees. Oops. Let's not do that. Minus 90 degrees, and that'll point it in the way that I want it to go. Now, the other thing that they're going to need is velocities, right? So I'm going to bring over a velocity for blue, and I'm not going to make them go super fast. You can experiment with speed. I'll set the blue velocity x at 5, and I'm going to set the red velocity x at minus 5, because one of them's moving to the right and one of them's moving to the left, and so they have to be kind of opposite velocities. All right, let's get in a background color, do whatever you want with that. Let's throw in, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a draw sprites command here. And if we run it right now, ooh, I got something off, don't I? And it is this right here. It's the location of the red car. I want that over 200 and down 200, not 400. That was my bad. No, I want it over 400 and down 200. Yay, I think I finally got it. Because I want them coming right at each other. Here it is again. They're going to come right at each other, collision course. And right now, there is no really interaction between them because I haven't set up any kind of like relationship for them, a collision relationship. So now that's what we do, right? So this is just like yesterday. Once you have this set up, once you have this much set up, you got your objects and they're moving toward each other and they're on a collision course, then it's just a matter of experimenting and trying out the different collisions. So I'm going to start with a bounce. I'll just go through them in order. And really, you could, like I'm going to say blue, bounce, red. If you wanted to reverse that and say red, bounce, blue, you could still learn from that, right? But I'm just going to say blue, bounce, red, and let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to run that, and now really, in that one, since they're both moving, there was kind of an equal and opposite reaction. We're going back to physics again, right? They both bounced off of each other and went the opposite direction. All right, so let's rename this, and I'm just going to call this bounce. We did a bounce yesterday, so I'm just going to call it bounce 2. Name it somehow, right? And the rest of this is simple. And you know what's coming. You might be able to stop this video right now and just say, okay, I got this, because I'm just going to remix. I'm going to rename. This is going to be bounce off, and I'll put a 2 on it because it's the second day that we use that. So I'll say save there. I'm going to take the bounce block out, and I'm going to change the relationship between those two objects. Now we're going to do bounce off. And again, you could really, I'm going to do blue bounce off of red, but if you want to reverse that, you probably could. All right, here they come. All right, so it is different. Look, you know, they hit and they both wind up. Remember, with the bounce thing, they went in opposite directions, and that kind of doesn't happen now. Red keeps moving in the direction that it was moving, and blue bounces off of it kind of in a rapid manner. All right, so bounce off is done. Let's remix that. Next up is going to be collide. So I'm going to say this will be collide. And again, I'm putting 2s on there because we did these yesterday, and they're kind of a second version. All right, so there we go, collide 2. Just going to pull off the bounce off, and we'll get collide. And again, I'm going to stay consistent and just say blue collide red, but you could reverse it if you wanted to. All right, run that. All right, so again, it's sort of similar to what we saw a moment ago, but not the same thing. The cars, the front bumpers of the cars stay together, but the red car, it's kind of like yesterday when the object was stationary, it couldn't be moved. And the same thing's true here. The blue car cannot like push the red car away because the collide relationship sets it up to do what it's doing right now, what you see right there. All right, that one's done, collide 2. All right, we're going to remix, we're going to rename. And this is going to be displace. Can't type. And I'm going to put a 2 on it, of course, because I did one yesterday. All right, I'm going to pull collide out. I'm going to bring displace in. I bet you can predict this. Blue, displace, red. I'm going to run this. Boom. Now blue becomes the, you know, stronger, faster, whatever you want to call it. Blue becomes the stronger vehicle here because of the displace relationship that it has with red. Blue can displace or push off the red one. Even though the red one's moving, the blue one still wins. All right. Now, our goal today, you know, you have to write all these and run them and see them, but our goal is just to have a little bit of an understanding about, okay, what happens when you have 2 moving objects and they collide with each other, and we've tried them out in these 4 different ways: bounce, bounce off, collide, and displace. So once you've seen that, and once you feel like, okay, I kind of have an understanding of this, then you're good. You're done.